I'm always excited when Randy Luby shows up for the meeting, and I'd like to ask Randy to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Do you know how it starts?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the January 8, 2015 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as chair of the commission and represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Kevin Cook, who is vice chair and represents District 2, and Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1. Welcome and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First item, please.
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
Questions or comments on the consent?
I have none.
I don't either. I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers totaling $854,253.71. Some of the highlights off the vouchers are repairs to the Expo Center. Department of Corrections had $21,304 for payments for medical care to inmates with local facilities. The Public Works had a maintenance truck that they purchased. The largest expense was the Motorola 911 expense of $240,429. There was holding accounts with the state of Kansas, the health insurance Meditrack, IT Fishnet Security, Parks and Rec with their payment to Topeka Civic Theater, and then Community Corrections rental payment for, it's a 6-month block though, for the Community Corrections offices. And those highlights total up to $629,929. But I do not see any issue with the vouchers. I'd move for their approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the vouchers as presented by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no, and the motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders. Move approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook to approve the correction orders. All in favor say aye. Opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item B, Sheriff's Office, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C12-2015. Term is 3 years with option to renew for 2 one-year terms. With the Securitas Security Services USA, Inc. for after-hours security at the courthouse at a cost of $13.51 per hour for standard guard hours and $18.74 per hour for overtime holiday guard hours.
Hi, good morning, Captain Colbeck with the Sheriff's Office. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Can you give us an overview of what
The
the contract does and how we're spending the money?
The contract provides for civilian after-hours, holiday, weekend staffing for the courthouse security complex when our uniformed deputies are not on duty. This has been an ongoing contract that we've had with this security company, and the only change to the contract was just an hourly increase of $1.02 per hour for the regular rate of pay. All the other provisions that have been in place for a number of years remain in place. They're also responsible for the, in addition to the physical security, they patrol the hallways, check doors. They're after-hours fire protection for the building, and they've been a real good company for us and good working relationship with their management here in Topeka.
Okay. Questions or comments for the captain?
It appears that this contract actually goes back to 2010, and then it was renewed in 2012.
That's correct.
And then taking it up to the close of 2014. And so we've been going on a 2-year contract intervals, and this is now a 3-year contract. Is there a reason why I know we're happy with the service, but why we're up to a 3-year
I honestly don't know the answer to that, but there is a cancellation clause in the contract should there be something that would cause us to want to seek another alternative security company. So.
Do you know the total amount that's budgeted,
For,
Kathy?
for 2015, there's about $84,000 out of our budget that we're paying for the security company. That's about a $4,000 increase from what we paid in 2014.
So the total is about 84,000.
About 84,000, yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner.
And this just is probably a typo, but it's December 31st, 20117, so it would be 2017.
You know, I see that.
Yeah.
I'll have to let our legal counsel know that
Okay,
it's that way, and we'll get it taken care of.
okay, good. That's a long time.
Certainly is.
I'll move approval of the contract.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Bueller, and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you,
Thank
Kathy.
you.
Next item.
Item C, Audit Finance. Number 1, consider approval of 2015 memberships, dues, and subscriptions for all departments in a total amount of $104,791.
Good morning, Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. This is just asking for your approval for the memberships, dues, and subscriptions for all the different departments for the year 2015. I do have a correction that I will ask you to make. On page 1, there is the KCCA, which is Kansas County Commissioners Association. That association is listed under general expenses and under the county commission. So if you would strike that from the general expenses, that since it just covers the county commissioners, that will be paid out of the county commission budget. That will bring our total down to $103,191. As I've noted in my memo, all of the departments did review this. They send this in to us as part of their budget request, but then they have all reviewed it, made adjustments for what they actually will need for 2015. That amount did decrease by $21,000 with their reviews, which is about 17%. And our amount is lower than it was in 2014 by about $10,000. This list is what the county clerk's office will use to pay invoices, as their authority to pay those invoices as they come in.
It's a lot of money, but I think the key here is that we're buying expertise, and that we don't have to hire that in. In the long run, I think it saves us money to belong to these associations and take advantage of their expertise. So, anyway, I'll make a motion to approve. Are there any other comments?
I'll second, but I would just note that I appreciate the departments going through and reviewing their associations and determining which are key to their mission, critical, and also keeping an eye on the stewardship to the community and constituents.
Did you second?
I second.
Did you have
I
comments,
just comment,
Commissioner?
Betty, so as we go throughout the year, then if there are additional,
Yes,
then
if there is
we
a,
can still add.
they
if
can
we
add,
need
but
to.
they will come to you
Okay.
and request that.
Okay.
If it's not on the list, it will not automatically be authorized for payment. They would have to come to you and request that.
I just wanted to make sure
specifically.
that's clear. Okay, thanks.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider awarding bid for 7,500 cubic yards of haydite in a total amount of $364,031.25.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item. And haydite is the lightweight aggregate material that we use when we do our chip sealing of our roads. We've used it in the past. We used to use a limestone rock to do our chip sealing. Several years ago, we switched to this haydite material, which is lighter in weight and darker in color, and we've been extremely pleased with the results from it. So we would like to continue on using that type of material. We went out for bid, and we just received the one bid from Buildex, who's really there aren't many suppliers of this material, but that is who has supplied us ever since we started using the material, and they are the main supplier of this material throughout the region. So it is our recommendation that we accept their bid and award the bid to Buildex for the $364,031.25. And the funding from this would come from the 2015 Public Works Road Maintenance Budget. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Historically, we haven't gotten but one bid, is that?
That's correct.
Okay.
I believe we've gotten, well, I take that back, we've gotten some bids from companies in, I think Colorado and maybe Illinois, but the transportation delivery costs were so high, it was not even close to what they can provide it for, because they are, this material would come from, just across the river up near, Atchison, I believe is where their plant is, so it's in Missouri, but it's, and they also have a plant in near Salina, but it's a different type of material. So the type we like, the darker colored material, comes from the Missouri plant.
Okay. Other questions or comments from Mr. Block?
I don't think so. I move approval of the requested expenditure of the Haydite with Buildex Incorporated.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D2, consider approval of letters to AT&T, Kansas Gas Service, Westar, Caw Valley Electric, Cox Communication, and the City of Topeka Water Department regarding relocation of utility facilities in conflict with the Southwest 29th Street, Southwest Indian Hills Road to Southwest Urish Road project.
Commissioners, Tom Block again with Public Works and Solid Waste. This too is a Public Works item. And the reason this item is on the agenda, as you recall, we are in the process, or we have been in the process of doing design for improvements to Southwest 29th Street between Urish Road and Indian Hills. Originally, we had intended this project to be constructed in 2016, so that would fit with the schedule of a project that the City of Topeka is doing on Southwest 21st Street that was originally going to be intended for this year. In communication with the city, they wanted to move their project back to 16. They just contacted us to see if we could move ours up to 15. We were in a position from a design standpoint and a right-of-way standpoint that we could do that, provided that we could get utilities moved. So we told them that, yes, we would do everything we can to move ours up, and so we can flip our schedules around. So at that point, and this is probably, I guess, 9 months ago when we had this communications with the city, we got back with the utility companies that would be impacted and told them that we were wanting to move our schedule up into 2015. We got a little bit of pushback from some of them because they said they hadn't budgeted utility relocation for 14. So we worked with our design consultant to do a little bit of redesign to make it easier for some of the utility companies to be able to phase their relocation to get it done ahead of when we needed to have our contractor come in. So throughout the last, and in these utility relocation meetings, they originally began probably 18 to 24 months ago. So it's been an ongoing communication with them as far as what we're looking at doing. So the most recent communications that we've had, they've given us some verbal feedback that yes, they'd be able to get them relocated in time. We've asked them to send us letters stating that their position of being able to do that. We haven't gotten that type of confirmation from all of them. So the reason again why I'm bringing this to your attention is to get our project constructed in this year, we need to put it out for bid here in a couple of weeks so that we would get started in the middle of March. What our concern is, right now we're just going on them saying yes, we can get them moved. What the point of this is we want to make them aware that look, we're counting on you to get them out of the way in the timeline that your representative has indicated. And to see if we get any feedback of no, we can't do it, because if we're trying to do a favor, I guess, basically by moving our project up a year. But there is a potential that if they just don't move, we could put ourselves in a position where we're, you know, shutting our contractor down or causing some major inconvenience. So the point of these letters, and I know what we'd submitted to you, we didn't have all the final addresses and contact information of who we wanted to go to. We now have those, and I believe they've been printed out on commission letterhead. But the point is to have something come from the commission to say, look, this is what your representatives have indicated to us. We are going on what they have told us, and we expect the utilities to be moved so that it does not impact us. Granted, that's, you know, these letters are not binding by any means, but they're just, they have a lot more clout coming from the commission than they would from myself. So, and I guess also the other point is to have this discussion to maybe get some direction from the commission of, you know, yeah, we're sticking our necks out a little bit on this one, and do we want to? I'd like to take people at their word, but I guess that's what we're here to discuss. And I have Mr. Flanagan here. He's been more involved along the process as far as utility relocation, working with our design consultant and utility companies. So if there's anything more detail as far as questions, he may have the answer to them. But that is what I'm here to see if they're willing to sign those letters and send them on to the utility companies, so that hopefully if they determine that they can't do it or won't do it, they will get back to us, so that if we go out to bid, we either cancel the bid or reject the bids or whatever. We just want to get some confirmation from them of, yeah, we're going to get it done in time. So that's what we're here to talk about.
So essentially, we're formalizing in letters discussions that we've had with the utilities.
Right, our understanding of what.
Right.
Yes, that is what that is doing.
And I always think it's good to have things in writing, number one. But typically, we don't have any issues in working with our utility companies.
No, for the
For
most part.
projects.
For the
Okay.
most part, no.
Okay.
You know, there is the possibility, and this happened not to us, but on a local project where a tornado, I believe it was a Chapman tornado, came about, and one of the utility companies had, with an interlocal agreement, had to send basically all their resources to help with that cleanup. That delayed getting utilities moved on another project, which caused some serious problems. There is that potential if we had inclement weather like that again.
But that was an extraordinary event.
Right.
Uh,
I mean,
Right.
you're right. I mean, the chances of that are small, but it's still a possibility.
Yeah. Okay. Commissioner Cook?
Well, and this is just formal, like you said, this is just formalizing what the understanding is. It would be your expectation, would it not, that if this isn't in conformance with what they're expecting, that they would send back a letter or correspondence to you or us as the county commission saying, we haven't committed to that, we can't meet those obligations?
Yes.
When would you be looking to send out some of these bids?
We would look to advertise, I believe, in 2 weeks. So then we would receive bids, I believe, in February.
So
Sometime
we would
February.
have plenty of time, hypothetically, if we send out the letter today, for the utility companies in the city and our partners to receive them, review them, and get back any objections before we would actually finalize a bid.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they may be out and being advertised, but if we were to get some kind of confirmation of we will not be out of the way, we could always cancel that bid.
Okay.
But what I hope that doesn't happen is that then sends several projects' schedules into
Yeah.
flux.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why it isn't just this project, it affects 2 other projects. And easements, and, because easements expire, and so there's some ripple effects, I guess, that could come about if they don't get these utilities removed or relocated.
And that's good to know.
And I also appreciate this, this is letting the residents of that area kind of have an idea of inconveniences that may be on their roadway if they're traveling a specific route to and from a job or school, that they would know that in March through November 29th, and Urish to Indian Hills may be under construction.
Mhm.
Yes,
Follow-up
Commissioner.
question. Tom, the city project that's been pushed now to 2016.
They're looking at doing it in 2016.
And where was that located? What was the
That's
step?
21st Street from Urish to
Okay.
Indian Hills.
So again,
We can't have those two roads close at the same
exactly,
time.
and the whole
Yep.
traffic flow of that
That's right.
area is really important, so again, stressing the importance of getting this going.
Right,
So
and
that,
if we're not able to do this project this year, our easements, when we acquired them, we were anticipating doing it in 2016, so our easements last through till the end of 2016.
right,
So we would then want to do our project in 16, because our easements expire, we don't want to have to renegotiate easements. So if we did ours in 16, and we also have our looking at Urish from 17th to 21st, that section. We're looking at doing that one in 17, we have our easements acquired through the end of 17 for that one. And then the city was looking at doing 16, it just
Mhm.
creates a
Yeah.
mess.
Yes.
yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, and I believe the county does an excellent job on their project management of roads and projects that we have going on. And I think most people think you can just plan it pretty easily. It takes a good 2 years, I would think.
3 years,
3
actually.
years?
Yeah.
We like to have a 3-year.
To plan a road, to obtain those easements, all that. It's very intensive. And so this isn't a last-minute thing. I mean, it's like you've been working and talking with them. This just kind of drives home the point a little bit more that we need some action on this, so, yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for pointing those things out, Commissioner. Motion?
Let's do the letter.
Yeah, because the letter, I don't believe was in the packet, correct? Or it wasn't on the website,
A sample of what
so-
we were looking at writing was in there, yeah, I believe.
Was it? Okay.
Yes.
I have not had a chance
Oh, you
to
have?
review it.
All the letters are the same.
Yeah, they would be all the same, except the addresses
Okay.
and, to each utility company would just be different. But yes, it basically, they would be all the same, because there's a certain section of roadway that we need to have utilities out of the way by such and such a time, and then the intersection at 29th and Indian Hills is another part of the project that we would need to have the utilities at that intersection relocated by another certain time. So that's what the letter is trying to dictate, I guess, or tell them.
I don't see any issues.
Okay.
Move approval of the request to send letters.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item.
Item E, Health Agency, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C13-2015 with the Kansas Integrated Public Health Systems, Inc. for annual maintenance of the data management and billing software system at a cost of $6,460.13.
Morning, Commissioners. Allison Alejos, Health Agency. Before you use the annual maintenance fee that's required on an annual basis, it is for the Kansas Integrated Public Health Systems, which is the billing system that we use in the local health department. We're able to schedule appointments through that system. We can track and monitor vaccines, not only those that have been given, but also those that are our actual inventory of our vaccines. It's a great system. We've had lots of good support from the vendor. This fee does in fact include both maintenance, updates. We can call with any concerns, and we have very rapid response. I've got good feedback from staff that they're very pleased with the system, and we also, just to know, we have 24 licensed with this agreement, so we've got lots of people using this system, and I'd be happy to answer any other questions.
Questions for Allison?
I have none.
Move approval.
A second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no, and the motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item E2, consider authorization and execution of contract 14-2015 with Heartland Community Health Center in Lawrence, Kansas for professional nursing services on a temporary basis for patients at the health agency at a rate of $33.10 per hour.
Good morning, Commissioners. Alice Weingartner, Health Agency. We have had some registered nurse position vacancies over the last several months. We've been able to fill one of those positions, and we're still trying to get qualified applications for the second position. In the meantime, we have visited with the Community Health Center in Lawrence, and they have a nurse that they are willing to share with us. And so this is a contract for that position. And again, it's important that we have these positions filled, as these do directly impact the services and our ability to provide services. And again, as we go through our operational change, I certainly don't want to see us impact the services that we're providing to patients. So I ask for your approval on this contract. And if you have any other questions, I'd be glad to answer them, not ask them.
Will this position be on site?
It will be, yes.
40 hours a week, is that what you're
Yes, it's up to
anticipating?
40 hours a week is
Up
what
to.
we would use, right. As a contract, we can't dictate the hours necessarily,
Right.
the number of hours, but based on her availability and willingness, she can work up to 8:40.
Okay, and from what I recall in our discussions about this position, this actually saves money as opposed to going to a local temporary staffing operation.
We
Is
would
that
see-
correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
We would see a cost savings between contracting and using a temporary agency as well.
Okay, so it's a good deal. I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Second.
I do-
Yeah, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Alice, the term of the contract is till April of 2015.
It
April
is.
30th.
We have done it as a short-term contract at this
Okay.
time. We anticipate, they are hopeful that the project that they had hired this nurse for will start in April. We expect to know in the next month, hopefully, whether that project will start. If it doesn't start, then as Heartland decides what their next steps are, we may ask to extend the contract if we haven't filled the position already ourselves.
Okay.
So we continue to advertise to fill.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer and seconded by Commissioner Cook to approve the contract. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you,
Next item.
Commissioners.
Item F, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider approval of request to appoint John Wellborn as the permanent director of the Weed Department at an annual salary of $71,874, including benefits.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Nye, Parks and Recreation. A few weeks ago, the Commission formed some teams to where some departments were to begin working together. Immediately following that, I went by the Weed Department and visited with John Wellborn and the staff that work up there. Tried to get a good understanding of the inner workings of what the Weed Department does. I will tell you that I am completely amazed at his ability to be able to run a department for the amount of money that you guys have given him. He's running it for about half of what the previous director of the Weed Department ran it. I was hoping to be able to go there and see if I could find some efficiencies. Of course, in the matter of a couple of days, I haven't found any efficiencies. But I can tell you right now, if there are efficiencies, John Wellborn, I'm pretty sure he'll find them. I'm not the smartest guy around, but I'm pretty good at coming to no-brainer decisions. My recommendation is that you take the interim tag off of Mr. Wellborn, appoint him the permanent director of the Weed Department, and negotiated a salary that he would be happy with. It's a little misleading, not necessarily misleading, the memo, but probably needs some clarification in that his pay will be less than what the previous director, John Cabus's, was by about almost $5,000 a year. But with benefits, that's where the $71,000 come in. Apples to apples, John Cabus worked for about $58,000 a year. John Wellborn's willing to do the same job for a department with spending about $200,000 less a year and his own personal compensation of about $4,000 less a year. With that being said, I think all of you were at his meeting yesterday. He's tremendous. He's got a lot of respect in that field. He's doing a terrific job. I was vastly underusing him the years that he spent with Parks and Recreation. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Yeah, I agree. John is an impressive guy, and he really makes a good breakfast. One of the things, and you sent us an email, I think it was yesterday, talking about how weeds and our golf operation can work together better. And I appreciate that. I think anytime we can save money and work together like that, I'm always in favor of it. And I appreciate, John, and you looking into that already.
Yeah, I think that's probably what the commission had in mind when they wanted us to begin to work together. We already worked with the noxious weeds or the weed department on doing some of those things, but this provided us an opportunity to even work closer together. So Kerry Golden, he just happened to be the first one, because I'm sure Terry Bertles will get in on this too, being able to look at purchasing the chemicals. There's similar chemicals. He can buy them, Mr. Wellborn can buy them at a more of a bulk. We can have them on there in the three, between parks, golf, cemeteries, and our operations. We may see some between good savings and significant savings on the purchase of chemicals and the application of those chemicals as well.
Commissioner?
Yes, Commissioner Cook.
John and I had a chance to talk yesterday, Mr. Wellborn, and I should probably specify the Johns, you know. One of the things he commented was, you know, people are always curious, how's a consolidation or a team going to work? And one of the things that he commented was, he's able to provide Parks and Rec some assistance when they need it, and Parks and Rec will be able to provide him some assistance when they need it. And they really complement each other in their operations. It's not to say that they aren't two separate operations, they are, but they are able to complement each other in what they do. And so I thought that was a very willingness to look, willingness to work, willingness to find those efficiencies, and I've been very impressed with Mr. Wellborn as he's been the interim weed director. So.
I would echo those comments, his willingness, John Wellborn's willingness to accept this arrangement. It's been very admirable. I appreciate it. I appreciate you both working together, but this is just the beginning. But so I want you to keep us up to date on issues that arise so that we can make sure this fits. I know in the past, commissions have put different things with Parks and Recreation, and we've removed them. So, I mean, you know, we got to make sure that we continually evaluate if this works well.
Exactly.
So, but with that, I'll move approval of the request.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Bueller and seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item F2, consider approval of request to pay the insurance deductible of $10,000 for the previously approved replacement of 2 utility vehicles that were stolen on April 12, 2014.
Commissioners, we came down to the commission earlier this spring about 2 pieces of equipment that were stolen. We got some insurance proceeds from that. Somewhere along the line, the communication, I guess we assumed that the $10,000 deductible was part of it. As settling these negotiations, we have to come back and come before the commissioners here and pay the $10,000 deductible. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Questions?
If I'd have known we were paying the $10,000 deductible, I'd have tried to get two utility vehicles that were worth more than the $30,000. We tried to factor that into the replacement value, but they're working fine for us.
Questions, comments?
We've made some changes to how we store these vehicles too, so that we don't have the same theft occur. Is that correct? These were the 2 vehicles that were out at the Expo Center.
And they left at the time that the roof was being replaced, and the roof is back on there. Beyond that would just be suspicions on my part of how they ended up disappearing.
I did want to have, it doesn't necessarily go into the Parks and Rec budget, but I do have some good news, since John was addressing this anyway. We received notification yesterday that we will be receiving our $10,000 deductible back for the water that came in through the manhole that's outside of the courthouse that came in and affected our elevators and such like. And of course, Terry Bertles is in charge of that right now. But so we did have our insurance company did subrogation on that with the utility company, and they agreed, and so we will be getting that back. So it's kind of a wash to the general fund, but it's it won't go to John's budget, but it will go to the county's budget. So we'll be receiving that.
I have a rather small bucket list, but one of those things that I never thought I would ever get accomplished was Cindy Beck saying something nice about the Parks and Rec Department. Finally glad I got there.
I think you misunderstood what she was
Approval of the expenditure.
Motion made
Second.
to approve by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, John. Next item.
Item G, Commission Number 1, reflect that Commissioner Archer has reappointed Patrick Tryon to the Planning Commission representing the 3rd County Commission District for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2017.
Is Mr. Tryon here today? Okay, I had asked if he could come, but everybody's busy this time of the year, so don't think we need a motion on this. So I appreciate Mr. Tryon being reappointed and his service to our community on the Planning Commission, so thank you. Next item, please.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Are there? Okay.
Thanks to John at the Weed Department
Yes.
for a great breakfast and kickoff of the farm show. So if you hadn't had a chance to go out and visit, a lot going on.
Also a reminder that 9:30 on Monday,
Oh.
over 9.
I was gonna do that.
Go ahead.
Did you have anything?
I did have 2 things. One, Commissioners, as we've been discussing, we are going to be conducting department head evaluations. And I believe that we have an evaluation form that is ready to be sent out to all the department heads. And following that, we'll be scheduling appointments with our department heads. So as Jane will be working with the department heads to find a time to be able to sit down with the Board of County Commissioners to go over the evaluation, thoughts or concerns that they might have, but we will also see a spike or increase in executive sessions for that purpose. And so I'm sure the Capitol Journal will be interested to know why we might have an increase in executive sessions. But I would appreciate all the department heads as their cooperation. If there's any questions, always feel free to reach out. And this should be an improvement. I know that it's been many years that we've been working to try to get to this point and having a true evaluation for our department heads so they are able to give the Board of County Commissioners feedback on how we're doing and how they're doing. And the second thing I had was to thank you, Commissioner Archer, for your years. Your last session is this year as we have our re-election next, or election of chair and vice chair
On Monday.
on Monday. So thank you for your work as chair. I appreciate everything you've done. I'm sure that there's been times that you've wanted to, give some kind words or curse words to both of us, but I appreciate everything that you've done in your leadership.
I can't remember a single time
Kind or
that I wanted to do either, Commissioner Cook. But and thank you, and Commissioner Bueller, and thank you for your leadership, particularly on the evaluation process for our department heads. And this is the first step, and it's going to be better. We're going to do a better job evaluation, looking at strengths and opportunities for improvement for our leadership team. I've said many times that we have an excellent leadership team, but there's always room for improvement. So,
I will also say thank you at this time. I was going to save it for Monday, but thank you for your leadership as chair. And I think serving as chair always offers a different perspective. As a county commissioner, you have a few more responsibilities, but it's an exciting one too. So, and you've done an excellent job.
Wow,
So.
thank you very much. I appreciate those kind words. As Jane pointed out, our meeting on Monday morning will commence at 9:30. We have swearing in at 9 o'clock. So thank you for reminding me, Jane. I appreciate that. Next item.
Item 6, Executive Session.
There is a need for a short executive session to talk about non-elected personnel. I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for a period not to extend past 10 minutes, commissioners only, for the purpose of discussing non-elected personnel.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. We are in executive session.